spider lane right there. So no potential stun coming up from Kaigu, and immediately, yeah, Vulcan's going to invade this because once again they're practicing their execution and really trying to make their play more crisp.
As a good spider lane actually coming out there for what that damage is worth at this stage. Mineski actually coming across here. They may try and challenge this invade on towards the blue buff. TG and Snowy there just spotting Zuna off down towards his bottom side. So actually will be a 5v4 now. Zuna has to get back around for this one. Sid gonna go in there, gets the taunt down. There's a Vault Breaker as Kaigu has to back away, but Zuna comes in from the backside. Snowy in trouble. Smithy flashes out. Exo now getting locked up. He's already used his barrier. Can he get away? There's a flash over the top. Mindcloud, yeah, he gets away as well as the grasping root landed. There's a stun card. TG's a dead man. Sid picks up another kill for Vulcan. And that was the level 1 we were talking about.
The start could not have been better for Vulcan there. It seemed like a bit of a risk for Vulcan to engage 4v5, but they actually had that all planned out. Oftentimes at level 1, you don't have enough burst damage to finish off that first person entirely, and they would generally flash away. Oh, if that root would have landed, Kaigu would have been also a dead.
Well, I'm not sure that he'll escape this one as the slow comes down. He's very, very low, but Vulcan not risking it there. They decide to let him back away, which is actually not a bad thing here because Kaigu, with that low of a HP, is going to need so much help here over by his red side anyway.
I think they can actually give it to him, though, because they've actually pulled both solo laners away, and Exo and TG continue to harass this. It's going to, at the very least, use Xsmithy's smite.
Crazy, crazy stuff here at level 1. Xsmithy does pick that one up. Kaigu did get the red over by the other side. And we saw out the game here for Mineski. Unfortunately, they're already 1,100 gold behind in this game.
Not the start they had dreamed of right here. If they're trying to pick up their win at Worlds, this is not the way to do so. They knew that Vulcan had so many level 1 tools to work with, and they just kind of walked right into it. That's a lot of inexperience coming in here from Mineski. Oftentimes, you're almost greedily wanting to go into a level 1 against a team that you feel a little bit outmatched on because crazier things have happened at level 1. Sometimes you can just get the right fight and expect the game to turn around from there, and that was exactly what Mineski was going for, even if they were walking into a whole bunch of utility.
So Zuna, with that first blood coming in, is going to be a real menace in these early levels against Mineski's bottom lane of Exo and TG, and you see there already Exo knocked back, and he's going to have to recall, and he's still level 1. So by the time he gets back, Zuna's going to be up at least at level 3. It's not a matchup you want.
Yeah, Ash's early laning phase is tremendously strong, and that is just multiplied by the fact that Exo had to use Flash and Barrier at level 1, and the fact that that lane is still yet to level just because they were so late to lane, and they had the long amount of time spent harassing off the blue buff. Bloodwater and Zuna are in complete safety and control right now because you also have to consider that they stopped Kaigu from getting the blue buff, which means there's not even a chance that Elise could be ganking them right now for playing so aggressively.
That's Snowy going head-to-head with Psycho Sid, and look at that, Xsmithy with that blue buff still running. He's going to go onto the top side of his map. Kaigu not really daring to come over and even seeing if that blue buff had been already taken from them. Too much respect that he's got for that one, and actually will just go about his way, which means, as he said, no blue buff aim at the start. Finally, we're going to see Exo coming back into lane, and Zuna is already level 3 from that one. Kaigu is in the top lane. We'll see what he can do.
This could be a little bit risky here. Psycho Sid is not giving Snowy much respect here. Elise is here for a 2v1.
There is the cocoon actually landing, and Psycho Sid in trouble. Does have his flash available. Will use that. There is a repel coming down, but he's backed away from it a little bit early there, Kaigu. I think they could have finished that one off, you know.
I think they were fearful of the Xsmithy counter gank if they went all the way in. Snowy and Kaigu were both a little bit low and couldn't take multiple turret shots. I think it would have been worth the risk, though, all things considered, because Mineski needs to make something happen after that atrocious start.
Yeah, I think that risk would be calculated from this. I mean, it can't really get much worse than he has been going right from that level 1 start for them. So, let me see Zuna back into lane. Exo, with that bit of time that he have as Zuna went back, has caught up there in the levels, but in terms of items, Zuna's going to be putting now incredible damage onto him there. We see already Exo in trouble as he does get rooted up. Has to use the Valkyrie to back away from it completely. Less than half HP, he's got to go home again.
Yeah, and I really wonder if we're going to be seeing more of Ashe Zyra into Corki matchups right now, because Doublelift has talked a lot about lane matchups and how if you don't play Corki, you at least need to play a Corki counter. We've seen Fnatic play it today, we've seen Vulcun play it today, and we know in the quarterfinals, Cloud9 actually just arrived today in Los Angeles. They were kind of the originators of the Zyra Ashe lane. It's definitely working out for Vulcun right now. You can see that early on, Ashe can outrange and outtrade EXO a little bit, and since he has the level advantage, it'll also mean that Zuna hits level 6 first in this lane matchup, meaning his Enchanted Crystal Arrow can kind of combo for some kills with Zyra and her double crowd controls in the lane. It's working out wonderfully for Vulcun right now, and I expect to see more of it.
And there is EXO again. He literally walks into the lane, grasping roots, the plants, a volley, and an auto attack, putting him down at half HP already. And this is just not good news whatsoever for EXO. He's up at he's 20 CS behind already, not to mention that kill and assist that Zuna already has. Minion Wave is going to be headed his general direction, but another thing to mention here is that the ward control, the map pink walks down pretty much across the board for Vulcun. They've got complete site control, and they'll be able to make plays off that as well.
The only thing they have to worry about here is Kaigu, who's actually coming in for gank right now.
Yeah, but Mindcloud actually using his flash, and here comes Xmithy right on towards Yume. He's not quite level 6 yet, so doesn't have Assault and Battery to lock him up, but look at the damage coming out. Both Kaigu and Yume falling to roundabout half HP, and they have to back straight away from that, not able to follow up onto Mindcloud.
Yeah, Mineski got so much damage onto Mindcloud at the start of that gank that he wasn't able to participate with Xmithy's late arrival right there. A little bit less damage down onto Mindcloud, and Xmithy would have landed the counter gank, but all things considered, it does mean Vulcun can push back a little bit. Yume had to go back since he's just running the tier. Such a squishy rise right now, and Vulcun gets a little bit more turret pressure.
So down on this bottom lane, CS continues to grow for Zuna. EXO, pretty much that half HP is where he's sat right now, and he's probably going to stay there for quite a while. Xmithy obviously having the timing. They picked up that blue buff right from level 1. He's going to take that again as Mindcloud is going to be Destiny down towards his bottom lane. TG won't escape that one. There's a flash away, but Xmithy coming around the side. He's level 6. There's Assault and Battery. Slams down EXO for the kill.
5-man gank from seemingly nowhere. That's the tools that Vulcun has if they want to just pick on someone. EXO and TG, even if they hadn't been bullied in lane, even if they had their summoners spells up, don't stand a chance against a 5-man gank that can appear just like that. What Mineski needs to do in that situation is have the other lanes pushing. Snoy and Yume would have needed to have enough pressure on their lanes to prevent that from happening, but once the 5 people get there, there's really nothing for Mineski to do as long as Vulcun executes cleanly like they did there.
Mineski actually coming down towards Dragon there, forcing Vulcun away. They'd started it after they had that 5-man pressure down at the bottom. Twisted Fate and Shen had already gone back, and they decided it's probably not worth it at this point in the game. I mean, their gold lead, we're not even 10 minutes into this one. It's already an incredible lead for them from the CS advantage they have in that mid lane, in the bottom lane, plus those 4 kills on the turret as well.
Exactly. I'm expecting a very controlled game here for Vulcun, only because sloppy play and mistakes have been what's pained them in this group to get them 3 losses thus far.
Oh, there's Mindcloud going low. The arrow actually coming through, but Mindcloud, will he get taken down? No, he won't. Flash from Zuna. They've got the slow. Kaigu now in all kinds of trouble. He tries to dive away onto the minions. Great cocoon, and they can't follow through. Kaigu survives, but his teammate not so lucky, and this is going to be the second turret of the game for Vulcun.
I still got to credit Kaigu a little bit for being able to jump to that minion with his little tiny spider bite to just get the inch he needed to avoid himself from getting for Smithy. But if he sticks around too long, another cocoon Assault and Battery is up. I don't think Smithy can get in range.
No, he's actually backed away from that, but in this bottom lane, EXO in all kinds of trouble here, gonna get slowed down. There's the Hawk shot coming out for the vision. He uses a Valkyrie, and that will just be about enough to get him away.
Woo. 5 kills for 0 still, and Xmithy everywhere right now on the map.
There is the Assault and Battery. Snoy going to be struggling to get away from this one. Will actually get through on towards his minions, but Psycho Sid is chasing him down. Is he going to get there? 4 seconds until the taunt comes up. There's a Vorpal Blade, and Snoy just about lives.
With the rank 1 safeguard, the teeny little shield that he was able to get out because he pathed towards the brush, which delayed the visibility that Psycho Sid would gain on him. Even with all that, this goal lead is getting completely out of hand, Joe. It's 5 kills to 0, 3 turrets to 0. It's a 6,000 gold lead at 11 minutes. That's nearly insurmountable already.
Yeah, insurmountable, I think, is the perfect word from that one. And Mineski, this is the time to make some risky plays. I mean, they literally have nothing to lose in this game right now. They are so far behind things that they should just go for it. They should just be making plays. Kaigo right now is pressuring Psycho Sid in this top lane. Is he going to be able to lock down a Shen? No, there is a Cocoon. And the Shadow Dash will get him out to safety. No danger there for Psycho Sid.
Yeah, there have been a few times in this game where Mineski could have probably sacrificed themselves for a kill. Usually that's a bad choice because you usually get tricked into it. In fact, it happened to Bloodwater in their first game of the day where he flashed into a turret for a kill and ended up getting the rest of his team in trouble. And it's doubly hard for Mineski right now to try and make a play, only because Shen and Twisted Fate and an Ash Arrow can appear from pretty much anywhere. So even if Mineski feels like they'd have an advantage, they probably don't. This could actually be a flawless victory for Vulcun, meaning no deaths if they continue to play the way they're playing right now.
Well, not anymore, because you just jinxed them, Jack.
Yeah.
Commentator's curse coming in from that one. But they've taken a dragon, and that gold lead just getting bigger. 7,000 gold is now the total that they have from that one. Absolutely hammering Mineski at this point of things. We see 3 kills for Zuna. We've got 5 assists for ManCloud, which is always going to be a threat, however many kills he's got, because of that global presence, with a Shen coming in there as well, who's almost got that Sunfire cape done. And you look at Lee Sin in that top lane, Snowy. He's behind in CS, not been involved in really anything at this point. He's got a Vamp Scepter and a Doran's Blade and a Doran's Shield. He's really a bit of a non-starter in this one.
Even with that, he is probably the member of Mineski right now who is the most likely to make a play for them. He's only 14 minion kills down on Psycho Sid, which if you compare up and down, and you don't count the jungle, is the highest. But here we go, Yume. It's hard to run from TF here.
Yeah, Destiny put down there is the Rune Prison, but are you going to escape? Not now, you're not, because Bloodwater comes in. Grasping Root will lock him up, and that will be 6-0 for Vulcun. This is a landslide.
Yep, Lich Bane completed by ManCloud. He's just going towards his Twisted Fate build. In fact, Zuna has actually built an early Avarice Blade because he feels like he has such a lead in the lane that he can essentially dump any of his advantage into a gold per 10 item that gives him extra gold on last hits. One thing that I can actually touch on right now is crit chance. Oh, Smithy's gonna
survive.
Yep, alright.
Kaigu's gonna survive at least, going in there.
Yeah, we're gonna have a fight here in mid lane, I think.
Yeah, Smithy does have that Assault and Battery, and actually Snowy just coming down from this top side of this one has landed the Q, but decided not to follow through on that one, and probably wise. There's a lot still available here. Psycho Sid does have that Stand United, and the Ash Arrow can come across the map. Here is the red buff challenge, and they should be able to take that Bloodwater. Actually being caught out here. This could be the first kill of the game for Mineski. Strangle Thorns go down. Here comes Stand United though. Will Bloodwater be able to get to safety? There's the arrow coming through. They turn it around. TG going very, very low. He will have to flash, but he won't get away from the damage of Psycho Sid. And there is the Assault and Battery down on towards Exo. Kaigo has managed to pick up a kill there at the back. Exo did die, and now Kaigo is running for his life against Zuna and Psycho Sid. He's not going to escape that one. It leaves it at 10-1 to Vulcun.
Kaigo did get the kill there, and it's got to be at least a small victory here from Mineski. Vulcan's going to push down the rest of these outer turrets. It's already 3-0, and like you said, Joe, it is an absolute landslide right here. Vulcun mostly unopposed, only 15 minutes in.
Certainly a very different game to when these two teams first met. We talked about it in the pre-game that looked like Mineski's biggest chance to be picking up again. That was the game that they impressed us most in, but Vulcun obviously had a few words about that performance here, because this is a completely different turnout from them.
Yeah, Vulcun needs to shape up as far as the rest of this World Championship concerns, because they are not eliminated yet and they still have a chance. They're trying to play clean right now. I think the last time they played Mineski, they were trying to rush things and they weren't respecting them as an opponent right here. And even though this is such a landslide, it's strange to say it's a landslide because they're respecting their play right now. Vulcun is trying to play very coordinated. You can tell they're definitely, to use an old term from League of Legends, they're tryharding right now to make sure that they don't make mistakes against Mineski, even if they know that Mineski is overmatched.
And this is bad news for you, mate. There is a stun card coming down. Psycho Sid will taunt in towards the brush, and there is a kill picked up. ManCloud gets that one for his second of the game. Got that Lich Bane plus a needlessly large rod in there. Mineski actually grouping up here in the mid lane, and even though that was a 4 versus 3, they know that they just can't get past the Zyra, Ashe, and Vi combo on a turret.
No, one of the great things about the Zyra Ashe composition, it is more utility from the bottom lane than any other combination, so it allows the rest of your team to build as much freedom as they want. If Vulcun would have went for straight up damage in their 2 solo lanes, they'd have a very Cloud9-esque composition where they could just mob and team fights. But also, if they go for a lot of crowd control into their other 2 solo lanes, they just get these amazing combos of crowd control, one after another, that just locks up the enemy and leaves no room for counter.
And there is the lockup. Exo gonna go down, and that is, well, an incredibly clean kill from Vulcun. That gets them another inner turret, and Mineski now have no turrets outside of their base, and they have to, if they're gonna try at least for this one, they just have to group up and fight here, because they're just giving everything away without doing anything back.
Yeah, at this point though, it's a little bit too grim for Mineski. I actually do want to talk about the Avarice Blade item build a bit, because I have a chance, and I actually like talking about item math, so to speak. Most, like all carries, get natural scaling for attack damage and attack speed, and as far as the balancing of gold efficiency for stats, attack damage is the most efficient, followed by attack speed, which is also, attack speed is also a multiplier based off a champion's base attack speed, so attack speed is actually more efficient depending on what champion you're playing. Ashe has a very high base attack speed, so you want to build it on her. And then crit chance is actually the least efficient of the 3, but because it is a multiplier, once you've built attack damage and attack speed, you then want to build as much critical chance as possible, which is another reason why an Avarice Blade early is completely bypassing power. You're literally just doing it for late game gold flow, which is why Zuna, when he built that, knew he was way ahead in that lane, that he could get away with building crit chance, which was the least efficient stat for him at that point in the game.
Well, it's working out for them so far.
Yeah, it's working out.
No doubt about that one. I mean, look at the gold. It's just, it's very one-sided, I think, is the understatement of the day from Joe. Good job. So, Dragons started off here by Vulcun. No one around for Mineski. This one isn't a gift, basically, for them. I'll take that without any problems whatsoever. See a lot of wards down from Vulcun in the enemy jungle, and they're just exerting that whole stranglehold as they move themselves further and further up the map. Lee Sin needs to be careful on that top side, because he's walking over wards as he trudges his way back towards the base.
Yeah, I'm expecting an Ashe Arrow very shortly, followed up by probably X-Smithy and maybe Psycho Sid coming on the back of him. They can effectively get to anyone they want, knowing that ManCloud gets to go wherever he wants as well. Oftentimes, they will lead with a hawk shot to scout inside the base if Mineski's trying to pink ward inside the base and clean it, and then just go in. Knowing how poked down Mineski is right now, it would lead to a very clean fight. And that's what Vulcun is all about right now. It's just crisp and clean execution.
And we just saw there the Shen pulling everyone away from that mid lane. Here we go. Arrow comes in. Assault and Battery goes down. Xmithy and Psycho sitting there. Crescendo comes in. Strangle Thorns will actually knock Yume up. That's 2 kills. A double for Bloodwater as they move over towards the backside. Corki comes off the fountain. Kygo will be in there. He's fallen very low. Exo has to flash onto the fountain itself, and there are only 2 men left alive here for Mineski to hold on to their base.
Looks like a 19-minute inhibitor for Vulcun, and we can't be too surprised knowing it is a 16,000 gold lead and a 7-turret-to-0 deficit that Mineski is fighting from right now, Joe.
Vulcun playing it a little bit safer though here, backing away from this one. Kaigu and Exo managing to hold them off, going to push out that bottom lane and that mid lane as much as they can, but this one is just surely a matter of time until Vulcun really break through, maybe take that ace in the base and finish things off.
Yeah, this is about as one-sided as they come right here for Vulcun. And as far as the rest of the group is concerned now, I think we can talk about this, because Fnatic moved to 5-1, Gambit is sitting at 4-2, and this victory will move Vulcun into a tie for 3rd with Ozone, who I don't think anyone expected to be 3-3 coming into the World Championships here in the group stage. And for all the North American fans out there, it means Vulcun is still in control of their destiny, because the team that is ahead of them, I believe, someone please tell me if I'm wrong here, if you're from production, if they beat Gambit, they haven't played them twice yet, if they beat Gambit, they will tie them in the head-to-head and that basically means they would have to play another tiebreaker game. So if Vulcun wins out and then wins the tiebreaker, they're into the quarterfinals. They're completely in control, and a practice game like this, well, not a practice game, but the practice they get from this game is very important.
Well, Kaigo at this point going to be caught out here by Xmithy. We see him repelling, but where's he going to go? He actually goes further away from his base than he originally was, and he's finished off by Xmithy, and now they're chasing down Corki inside of the jungle. There's Destiny. Stone Card comes down. Exo actually managing to stay alive for quite a while. Minecraft now in trouble. He goes down. Snowy picks up the kill.
There we go. They get one back there, even though Kaigu was going down. The rest of Vulcun, though, collapsing in. Mineski's got to run away.
Snowy down to half HP. There it was. The assault and battery. They've actually managed to lock Yume up there with those strangle thorns as well. There's a crescendo, a good one, actually coming out from TG. But in the meantime, Zuna hammering away on this top inhibitor. There'll be nothing that Mineski can do to stop this and that inhibitor going down.
Yeah, even though they have 4 people live right now, they just do not have the strength or the gold to get Vulcun out of their base. 16,500 gold, almost 2 minutes in.
22 minutes in, and Vulcun actually backing away once again from this one. And probably, well, to me it looks like the fact that they're not recalling at all here, they may just go in there and pick themselves up a Baron.
Slow and steady wins the race. Right here if you're Vulcun. You can see right now ManCloud hasn't played the perfect game he'd expect right there, getting caught a couple times here. You can see though Mineski still got smiles on their faces. They know that they were overmatched here, but they're trying. I feel like they're playing the game right now. They want a couple kills. That's the game they're playing.
Well, we've talked about this before for Mineski. It's not like they've won nothing almost here, because they're coming in, they get incredible experience going against teams like this. They almost build for their future coming in, and they win prize money as well along the way. It's definitely not a bad deal either way for Mineski, but their aim here is certainly to shock someone. It's to pick up a victory in this group stage somewhere along the line.
Yeah, if they want to do that though, they have to play substantially more aggressive early on in the game. I think we actually saw the start of that in this one, when they, even though they were outmatched champion-wise at level 1, they still went headfirst into it because they were hoping to get an early advantage. That didn't work out for them, and it was clearly all downhill from there.
So, Baron on here for Vulcun. Lane's being pushed up. Zunan out with that static shift added into his Infinity Edge. We got a Zonya's on ManCloud as well, and so he could have done with that. He gave the second kill of the game away as the Destiny onto the base steps, but Vulcun here are pushing this bottom lane. Right now, Mineski are focused on pushing this mid lane out, as we are going to see the Soul and Battery coming in. There's the arrow. Strangle Thorns going down. They're going to lock up Exo. He's not escaping. Kaigu will fall as well. Destiny going to be popped. He comes in from the side. He's got to pull the card. There it is. He's on the fountain, but he's pulled it nonetheless. Yume goes down. Triple kill for Zuna.
Gotta feel good there for Vulcun. 21 kills to 2. They need to take the momentum from this game and move it throughout the rest of the group.
So here we go, the Nexus turret's being focused. Only Snowy left alive. He's going to dive in there, give Zuna a kick, but he gets off to the ward and he actually gets into the fountain. Still with some life. Zuna going for him. Zuna, is he going to finish him off? No! Sid going to tank up the fountain. Zuna dies as well. And Snowy holding on just about. They're going to go for him again, with the Nexus here being hammered away on. Will get finished off. And Vulcun pick up a very one-sided victory to keep their hopes alive during the World Championship.
Yeah, we knew it from the start. Vulcun was in a must-win situation, and Mineski was just looking to play the spoiler. They didn't spoil much today because that was a 21,000 gold advantage accumulated across a 24-minute game. Vulcun went back to the Zyra Ash. They got their Twisted Fate Shen, which is their